I'm meteorologist Carley Gomez, and that big winter storm we've been preparing for has arrived. We've been seeing those rain bands moving in as of the afternoon hours on Tuesday into the evening. And those big showers have been really dumping a lot of rain into the valley spots. The roadways have been ponding, and we're looking at a lot of rain pushing into the foothills. Now, what we're expecting to see throughout the night is continuous bands like this, where you see showers in a straight solid line, another band pushing south, and then another band into the early morning hours. But notice after each band, they get a little less congested with those showers in between. So what we are seeing now is through the overnight hours, at least getting toward midnight as of Tuesday, the heaviest rain will be passing most of the valley spots. From areas around the Tracy Triangle North, we'll see less of that rain. We're still getting pretty intense downpours into the Central Valley as it continues down toward Fresno. Now, we are seeing that winter weather advisory and the winter storm warning in effect as well. As we track the showers into the overnight evening hours, again, we've seen some of the heaviest stuff coming in closer to the 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. hour. That was the first band that came through. Then the solid second band was moving in from 5:30 to about 7. And now we continue to see more of those strong showers and heavy showers pushing through as we start approaching around 8:30, 9 p.m. Into the early morning hours, we'll expect to see less of the heavy showers, but still showers nonetheless. So far, precipitation totals since the storms have begun have already reached 1/3 of an inch for the Sacramento area and Auburn. Fairfield getting closer to that 1/4 inch mark, and then 1/10 of an inch for Stockton. Now again, those showers are heading south. That's going to continue to pick up more of this rainwater and record more of the water and precipitation totals for Modesto and Stockton as we move into the early morning hours of Wednesday. Marysville, Oroville seeing about 1/4 inch of rain. Let's talk about the impacts we're seeing. The winter weather advisory for the Sierra is actually going to see a little less snowfall than we will for some lower elevations. And that's because we're just looking at the Tahoe Basin here, where we're seeing about 2 to 8 inches potentially of snow. The eastern Alpine County is about 7,000 feet, about 10 inches. This is a very fast moving system. It's really finding its sweet spot right around this zone, which I'll show you in just a second. But as we move into Thursday, 1 a.m., that's as late as we can expect this to remain in effect, but it looks as though we may see some of that clearing sooner. These winter weather advisories may be lifted as soon as even Wednesday night. All right, let's talk about the waves as well. If you're headed up there, Lake Tahoe waves could be about 1 to 3 feet high, so please be careful. Not that many people should be on the water at this time of year in the winter usually either, but just a heads up. Now, as we also take a look here, the winter storm warning that's in effect is also going to stick around at least into Wednesday. This is for 10 p.m., but what we're expecting with the heavy snow is accumulations close to anywhere from 10 to 18 inches of snowfall. Now, this is going to be above 4,000 feet. In elevation, we really haven't seen that low in quite some time. We've really been right around 5,500 feet and higher so far through the winter season in these winter months. But as we take a look at the peaks of these mountains, we could get as much as maybe 2 feet of snow. So we're going to have to wait and see exactly what happens with this quick moving system. The gusts, we're expecting around 45-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But again, those peaks, seeing more snow, we'll also see some stronger gusts around 80 miles per hour potentially. As we continue on through the evening hours, all of that heavy rain is quickly turning to snowfall as it starts reaching right around 4,500 feet or so. And then we'll continue to see that elevation dropping off as we get into the early morning hours. Now, what we've been tracking here is these wraparound bands. Well, we have different systems obviously moving through different areas at all times of the year and all seasons. But what we can also expect is when we see a low pressure system circulating and it seems to be slow moving, it has more time to continue forming and circulating. This has been doing that for a little while over the Pacific. Now finally making its way onshore, it's beginning to break up a little bit more. We've been tracking a lot of these bands wrapping around that low pressure system and coming right back in, hitting onshore once again. Continuing and repetitively doing this through the overnight hours is what we're expecting. But it'll lose steam as it's making its way inland. We're continuing to lose some of that moisture as it continues to shift its way up into the Sierra, creating that snowfall. And it's still trying to pull in more moisture off the Pacific, but that moisture is coming in the form of an atmospheric river. It's coming in off the Hawaiian and the tropics there, the Hawaiian Islands. As it continues to shift up and pull that moisture in, it's starting to deliver that heavy shower, and those snowfall totals are going to continue adding up. The difference that we're really seeing with this system than the previous systems is it's mostly coming in straight up from the northwest and dragging in that cold air down. It's combining now with the atmospheric river, providing more moisture. we've been losing and lacking steam with a lot of the systems that have been pushing in lately. So we're actually kind of happy to see this one deliver at least more snow than we've even thought possible. Now, as we continue tracking, I'm going to pause here because I can actually hear some downpours overhead. So just kind of the on and off showers that we'll continue to see in the overnight hours will continue in the morning, just not quite as intense. So the intensity of it will continue just about midnight or so. But this is going to be very intense for the foothills in the overnight hours versus areas around Sacramento. By 10 p.m., we'll start to see most of this shifting up in the foothills and a lot of areas downtown and West Sacramento, Davis, all the way to Fairfield start clearing up just a little bit. Finally, in the early morning hours, we'll continue to start seeing at least patchy areas where some cool air moves in. Snow elevations will begin to drop down again to about 4,000 feet. And then we'll see more scattered showers in the morning. The morning commute be a little bit wet out there, especially if you're headed on 80 toward Fairfield and headed toward the Bay Area. We're seeing some showers also pushing through. Finally, as you get to your Wednesday afternoon, we'll actually get a little bit of sunshine before the sun sets, and still looking at a few snow showers lingering for the Sierra, most of them south of US 50. Finally, as we get to Thursday, mostly sunny skies, but see that there? Those aren't clouds. That's the formation of fog. We do expect to see some areas potentially of dense fog and maybe a dense fog advisory being issued for Thursday morning. Now let's look at the rain totals or the potential for more rain. We'll see anywhere from about a quarter to about a half inch of rain expected across most areas of the valley. Foothills could get as much as about an inch to an inch and a third, and maybe 1.5 inches, Pollock Pines. And finally, snow totals. Again, they're kind of going back and forth, but remember, anywhere from 10 to maybe 18 inches is possible. Of course, the higher elevation is going to see more of that snow, but flurries could even fall in areas like Forest Hill near Nevada City. So that'll be fun for a lot of people anticipating just maybe a glimpse of snowfall. Not really adding to much on the ground, but hey, it's going to be a nice sight to see. All right, we're tracking more of that rain in the forecast as well as snow as we move from Friday night into Saturday. We do have a potential for another system moving in from the Pacific Northwest. That should provide us some more significant snowfall, hopefully, as that'll add to the snow totals for the year. So far, the snow survey was issued at least for today, January 2nd. That only gave us 25% of average snowfall for the state for this time of year, so we're pretty far behind. We're hoping to see more storm systems arriving. That'll continue to up our snow totals, and we still have time. It's typically January through March that we start to see more of the snow accumulation. And then April's a little bit later on, but it's not out of the ordinary that we get a lot of snow in April. That'll really add to the rain and the water totals moving into May for that snow check and snow survey, I should say. The 10-day forecast mid-50s, but check out the overnight lows. Mid-40s Wednesday into Thursday, but we're dropping in temperature as we move Thursday to Friday in the 30s again. For the weekend, we'll be dropping even further into the mid to even low 30s out there, moving toward Sunday into Monday. And we're still averaging right around the 50s into next week.